To the May 8th regular town council meeting of the town of Vegreville. We'll start off with a motion to accept the agenda. Councilor Curtis makes the motion. Any additions or deletions in the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, the minutes of our last regular council meeting. Looking for a motion. Councilor Barry makes the motion. Any errors or omissions within those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Okay. Next up, we have a presentation, which is my favorite part of this job. I'd like to ask Mark Lucas to come up here, please. On behalf of the citizens and town council, Mark, I want to thank you for all your years of service that you've put into this community, making it a better place to live and a safer place for all of its residents. And I know you've taken a lot of pride in what you've done, and you should. Congratulations and thank you. And this time I'd like to call up ex-chief Gerald to give out the regimental stuff, which I'm really not up to date on, so.
Luke, congratulations on your retirement. On behalf of the town and the citizens, here's your retirement crest. Goes on your uniform and your epaulets for retired deputy chief. And on behalf of, again, the community, but the Volunteer Firefighters of Canada, the Canadian Volunteer Fire Services Association, it's your 40-year service medal, recognizing 40 years of service, although you put 43 years of volunteer firefighter service in across Alberta. That's a testament to you about the amount of effort that you put in to serve as a volunteer citizens of this province. They could probably use you right now. Summer's up by Fox Lake, which you probably know where it is. You worked up there.
That northern store burned down.
Yeah, so congratulations and welcome to the retirement of the fire world.
Thank you.
Gary, get up here.
Yep.
You're all dressed up, no sense wasting it. Okay?
Yep. So I can't wear my hat though.
No,
Come on up here and get a
it's
good one.
right protected. The card
Did
is
you get one?
protected. You want me to move the podium?
For sure. Okay, Jameson wants to get in there. Thanks for coming, Jeff. We'll see you guys coming up here.
That's incredible time working with you for 5 years. So I had fun with you too. I was expecting you to come back.
Renee, you wanna do any questions? We'll just go hold it for a minute. Okay. Again, I just want to thank Mark Lucas for all his time and effort that he's put into this community. And it's people like that that are willing to put in those hours and go to those difficult situations. You know, people don't think about it, what they go through every day when they're out there on those calls. But I mean, I'm very proud of him for what he's done. So, okay, next up, supplemental. We have a letter from Curtis Zorniak. So, I guess I'll take a stab at this one. Dear Town Council, the Vegreville Cultural Association is excited to be planning the upcoming Vegreville Pasanka Festival, which will be held July 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2023. As we celebrate our 50th year anniversary, we are anticipating a larger crowd than in previous years, and as a result, we will need a surplus of volunteers to make the festival a success. We are currently seeking volunteers to assist in various roles throughout the festival. If you're interested in lending a hand, we have several areas where we need help. So they list off the contact numbers and stuff. So if there's anybody on council or anybody out there that's watching tonight that can give the Cultural Association coming up, and it's their 50th year, please reach out to them. And if there's anybody on council that would like to volunteer, we'll get together after the meeting and we'll get a list and we'll get it off to them. So. Thank you for that. I'd need a motion to receive and file. Councillor Warwa makes the motion. All those in favor? Carry. Thank you. Okay, next up, CAO Leggett.
Thank you, Your Worship. So, topic on this one is the HR 4001, the Employee Policy Manual. Proposals to approve the revisions to Policy HR 4001, proposed by our Human Resources Officer and myself. Background: in October 2022, the town of Vegreville hired a new position of the Human Resources Officer. One of the main initiatives and key focus since being onboarded has been to update the Employee Policy Manual. This policy manual had not been reviewed in its entirety since 2018. The draft policy was presented to the senior management team and was discussed and revised over several meetings. Once completed, the policy and proposed revisions were presented to Town Council for discussion at the Legislative Committee meetings held on April 18th and May 2nd, 2023. As all proposed revisions were accepted by Council, the final draft policy HR 4001 Employee Policy Manual is being presented to be approved. Financial implications. The financial implications of the proposed changes will save the town money through retention of staff and elimination of inconsistent and outmoded practices and procedures. All approved changes will be rolled out to staff via meetings and potentially lunch and learn style information sessions. The Human Resources Officer will work closely with the Community Engagement Department to ensure all staff are informed of the approved changes. The recommendation is that Town Council approve the revisions to Policy HR 4001 Employee Policy Manual.
Okay. So we have a recommendation on this policy. Would anybody like to make a motion regarding the recommendation? You make the motion? Any discussion? Councillor Warwa?
So for me, I, at this point, don't believe I can support the recommendation to adopt tonight for the simple reason of there was just some clarification information provided, and I didn't receive it till 4:40 today. And in fairness, I really would like to be able to go through it because it was specifically about a couple sections. It's not to dispute some of the discussions we had, but because the information came in and it's multiple pages long and I wasn't able to read it, I just feel I can't fairly support a recommendation because I didn't get to go through it.
Okay, any other discussion, any other comments? Okay, so go ahead, Councillor Lemko.
Yes, Your Worship. For me, the policy manual was presented well. There's a lot of items in there that are to me, a slam dunk that we just approve. The challenge I have a little bit with this is that with the vacations isn't so much as to the amount of vacations or whatever that's been, it's just anniversary dates. When does it trigger a vacation and that kind of stuff? So some clarification on that. I have no problem supporting it in its entirety. Just a little bit about the triggers and when would you get? Do you have to wait a full year? Do you have to, if you started in November, would you have to take your holidays after November, or, and then when does it trigger again for the next one, another full year? And that's some of the things I don't understand. So maybe more clarification, as Councillor Warawa had asked, would be good too. But I'm prepared to vote anyway.
Okay, Councillor Bullock.
As well, with Councillor Warawa, I'd like to have some review time on the emails that I received at 4:40, so I wouldn't be prepared to make a decision either way tonight, just for that reason. I had a decision coming in here tonight, but because of that late email, that's what I'd like to review first. So I don't want to make any decision tonight until I review that information.
Okay, so we have a motion, a recommendation to accept it as it's presented tonight. So I will call the question, and if you're willing to accept it the way it is right now, with the information you have, you'll vote in favor. So all those in favor of the recommendation? Okay. Those against? Okay, so the motion for the recommendation is
Your
defeated.
Worship,
What?
if I might point out that one councillor has recused himself from voting on this matter.
Yes, he has.
It needs to be put on record.
Okay, Councillor Curtis recused himself on this motion, the vote. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to have some more conversation. And it's section 4.17 that we're all have concerns about. So we will schedule a time and we'll need a little bit more information about that. The rest of the policy we all agree on is good work, but we need some clarification. I know what it says here, that the town will save money through all this. I hope everybody knows that our responsibility as council is to look out for the taxpayers' interest of this community. And we all know what's about to come down the pipe in the next few years with costing of our CMP, with inflation, and we need to be very careful how we are spending money within this organization, because over the last 5 years, there's no place else to cut in this organization. And the only other place we have is go to the taxpayers. And the taxpayers are our responsibility. That's who our boss is. So we're not prepared tonight to vote on it, on that one section that we need more clarity on. So we will schedule a time that we can all get together and have this conversation.
I want to say thank you, Your Worship and Council. It's been great working with you all through this, and I look forward to the conversation and hopefully coming to an understanding that we can all feel comfortable with and agree on.
And that's what we all need to be, is, and again, it's all good work, and we're very happy with the whole thing. We just need some clarity on a couple of issues, so thank you. So we'll move on. CAO Leggett, you're up again.
Thanks, Kelly. So this one's the 2023 Canada Day fireworks, and its proposals to allocate an additional $5,000 towards the 2023 Canada Day fireworks, proposed by myself. Background: the Protective Services Department has been coordinating with vendors to purchase fireworks for the 2023 Canada Day fireworks show. The item was budgeted for $5,000. The town had previously been able to purchase the fireworks at $5,000 because a previous staff member was properly certified to set off the fireworks. We no longer have that resource, so the cost of the fireworks show has now been quoted as $10,000, and this includes the fireworks and the crew to set up and shoot the fireworks with the proper licensing. Financial implications would be an additional $5,000 over the budgeted amount, and the recommendation is that Town Council approve the quote for the 2023 Canada Day fireworks as presented.
Okay, thank you. Take a motion for the recommendation. Councillor Bullock makes the motion. Any comments? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to the fireworks display this year, as long as there's no fire restrictions. So, so I just say it's a good family gathering for everybody in the community and brings out some good community spirit. So let's forge ahead.
Okay, well, first of all, I mean, we have done it the last few years. The town has taken responsibility for the fireworks. This time we're hiring a professional organization to do it, and it's supposed to be spectacular and a little longer. And so this is the cost of doing business, to hire a shooter and get a professional show done. So all those in favor, or Councilor Berry, do you have something? Okay. All those in favor of the recommendation? Carried. Go ahead, James.
Your worship, thank you. I just wanted to point out that sponsorship, thanks to some great community businesses through Vegreville Ford, Madigan Chrysler, Dodge Jeep Ram, and Grant Miller Motors, have come together to agree to pay $3,000 to help make this a reality. So the burden on the taxpayer will not be near as much as the increase in the now recently approved budget. So a cost-saving measures thanks to those great businesses for stepping up.
I'll say, yeah, thank you to the Vegreville Automotive Association, those three businesses. That's nice. Good. Okay, next up, bylaw, M&E Incentive Tax Exemption Bylaw, and CAO. Director Saski, you have this one.
Thank you, Your Worship. So I have here bylaw number 03-2023, the Town of Vegreville bylaw for purposes of establishing a machinery and equipment incentive tax exemption. So we have gone over this bylaw at the legislative meeting. Do you want me to read through everything once again?
No, I don't think so. We went through it at the ledge meeting, and everybody understands what we're doing here. If you can just give us a brief summary of what the bylaw says.
Okay, so this bylaw is for purposes of creating a machinery and equipment exemption through application process. As we had discussed at the legislative meeting, the nominal application fee has been removed from this updated bylaw that's presented to you. And so by completing an application, any properties that have machinery and equipment assessment are able now to apply via this application to be exempted from machinery and equipment tax, with the exception of any requisitions that would be levied on that assessment, as that's due to the province and others, not necessarily to the town, so that they could have those taxes waived for a period of no more than 15 years. So the way that works is if they make their application this year, if the bylaw is passed tonight, they'll get the full 15 years. If they make the application 2 years from now, they'll get the remaining 13 years. So this application, once approved, is their, so to say, golden ticket to maintaining this exemption for the full 15 years, regardless of any new council that comes on and repeals this bylaw. So once they're approved in with the application, they have that exemption for the full period, regardless if this bylaw is then repealed the next day. So with that being said, this bylaw will go through the different requirements to receive the exemption.
Okay, so I'll take a motion for the first reading. Councilor Berry makes the motion. Is there any discussion? Go ahead, Councilor Berry, start.
Thank you, Your Worship. I believe this is an important move that is being made, not so much that we have many businesses in town currently that are affected to it, but it certainly is an incentive to attract larger industry or businesses by giving this incentive. So I think that it is a good move and it will be well accepted. Thank you.
Anybody else? Councilor Bullock.
Like I said before, this advantage to business coming to town to take advantages of this new bylaw, it shows that Vegreville is open for business and willing to work with all businesses that willing to look for a place to relocate or start up. We want big business that's going to provide employment to this town, so it allows our community to grow. And I firmly believe that this is a step that's required to make that happen. And we are getting noticed. So that's what I gotta say.
Okay. Well, it is, it puts us out there a very competitive advantage over a lot of the municipalities, not just we're using the price of the land to attract industry here, and this is just another tool in the box. For those that are listening, the next council in could repeal this bylaw, but the businesses that are covered under it now that sign up for this program will have the full 15 years, which is all the Municipal Government Act allows us to bring this bylaw forward on, so. Okay, if there's no others, all those in favor of the first reading? Carried. I'll take a motion for the second reading. Councilor Curtis makes the motion. All those in favor? Carried. I will take a motion for unanimous consent for the third and final reading. Councilor Wawa makes the motion. All those in favor? Carried. And third and final reading, I need a motion. Councilor Lemko makes the motion. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Next up, councilor reports. And we're going to start with Councilor Warwa.
Thank you. I have probably some of the same ones as everyone else. This was actually a little bit slower time for me. On April 26th, I was asked to judge the public speaking at A.L. Horton, and I'm not 100% positive what the regulations are as far as being able to give names, so I'm just going to say that I got to do the grade 5s. Which was a lot of fun, and they had topics everything from favorite season, pets, ghosts, COVID experience, which was quite entertaining and was the winning speech about what it's like to be trapped with your brother left in charge when both parents had COVID, as well as invention over the ages. So it was really, really difficult to judge these kids, but they did a wonderful job. And I actually thought it was extremely impressive. They don't even use microphones anymore. They were using headsets. And a lot of the kids knew their speeches so well that they barely had any cards. It was actually really excellent. So I always appreciate being asked as a counselor to come, and what a great job they did. So I had that. May 2nd was legislative meeting. May 3rd, the safety meeting, and again, it was nice to see everybody. It's been a long time since I've been able to attend one of those. And tonight's council meeting, so I had a small one.
Thank you. Did you get any tips at the public speaking?
You know what? Honestly, they are much more relaxed than I am. They didn't even look nervous up there, which I thought was pretty impressive. And the only thing that I wish that they had a little bit, because of past experience judging 4-H, the speeches were such diverse topics. They were so close when it came. There was literally a point difference in the top 3 that I almost was wishing there was that impromptu, because that sometimes gives you the separation point. But what a good job. And they were quite lengthy speeches, and it was just, it's really nice to see. And I think that's an experience. The more they can do that, the better off, the more confident they would be. These kids get up there and they're smiling and going, and I'm thinking, wow, you're going to be good speakers, and it's going to be good for you at any job. So I hope they keep that up.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Barry.
Thank you, Your Worship. My time was also light. On May the 2nd, we had the AA trailers welcoming. And in our ledge that day, on the 3rd, we did a pancake breakfast for staff, followed by the general safety meeting and tonight's council meeting. And that's it for me to this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilor Lemko.
Thank you, Your Worship. April 27th, I attended Elaine's retirement social, and I want to recognize Elaine for achieving retirement, and was able to enjoy a piece of cake and share some fellowship with employees and staff, and it was nice to see her dedicated years of service to our community. So good for her. Congratulations, Elaine. On the 27th, I also attended the MD of Minburn Foundation meeting as we continue to work with our needs assessment strategy with our consultant to determine what another additional 60 units to our current facility would look like, and the amount of funding that's going to be required. And as we narrow that down, we're getting to the stages now where we can officially have a presentation that we'll bring forward. May 1st, I had another ASA Zoom call, Alberta Immigration Society, and it's in regards to the Ukrainian settlement. I will be bringing forward to tomorrow night's Vegreville Stands with Ukraine Committee meeting and some of the initiatives that are there, some of the grants that are available, grant to support organizations for settlement and grants to support the food program as well. So we'll be discussing that tomorrow night and bringing that forward. May 2nd, the AA trailers photo shoot at the old Bueller building. And for some people who might think that why would we have a standing in front of the Bueller sign, that's just to show that that's going to be erased with AA trailers. So it's just so people can understand which building it was, because you can stand in front of a metal shed and announce a company coming in, but where is it? And this tells you where that AA trailers is going. May 2nd, ledge meeting. May 3rd, the safety meeting breakfast. It was nice to see all the staff out cooking pancakes and sausages and eggs, and having a good breakfast and a nice safety meeting presented by our new fire chief. And then tonight's council meeting and the presentation to Mark Lucas was quite meaningful for me, because Mark and I spent a lot of time together as volunteer firefighters, and I know the dedication Mark has to the community. And not only was he a volunteer fireman, he was also the guy who cooked steaks at the Legion Steak Fry, the guy who cooked burgers at the corn maze and that kind of. So not only was he a volunteer on the fire department, he's a volunteer within the fire department. So congratulations on your retirement, Mark. I think you'll miss it like I do, but you'll fill that void with other things, and maybe might be an empty chair on council. Anyway, that's my report, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bullock.
Thank you. Well, for me, I wasn't able to attend Elaine's retirement on the 27th, but I do want to send a thank you out to her for all the good work she's done over the years. And it's real important to know that those people have paved the way for everything, everybody new that's coming in and stuff, and just to respect everybody that's come before them is a great thing to do. So very happy for her on her retirement, and just want to know that she was really appreciated. And May 2nd, also attended the AA Trailers Welcome to Vegreville. That's a very good thing for our community, and you know, some of the what was talked about, there will possibly be up to 100 employees in that building in the next year. So that's a big thing for our town. So later on that day, May 2nd, Legislative Committee meeting. On May 4th, via phone, it was a chamber board meeting where they talked about the chamber photo contest. And for those who don't know what that is, the chamber photo contest is about the egg. Take a picture of the egg and submit your photo of whatever entered this contest. It's a community thing. It's a great thing to do. They also will be having their general meeting on May 18th. May 23rd, they're going to be hosting the candidate forum. So get on down and watch the candidate forum that evening at the social center. Coming up also on May 25th, they're holding their golf mixer. So it would be good to take part in that. Tonight's council meeting. Another thing I want to just kind of shout out to our community just outside of our community, our local county residents and the farmers, and they're seeding right now. I've been helping them out for the past 2 weeks already by hauling fertilizer to them and meeting them. They're all working hard right now. And we got to remember that we should be appreciating our farmers in our community very well. They support our community really well. Grocery stores, welding shops, parts stores, fuel, everything that they do affects our town. So just a shout out to all the farmers out there. We appreciate you. You're very important to our community, just like any of the businesses in town. So that's all I have for my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Curtis.
Thank you. Mine's pretty short as well here. April 27th, I attended Elaine's retirement as well. So yeah, big shout out to her. Thank you for all you've done for the town, and wish you a happy retirement. May 3rd had the Ledge meeting, and then today's council meeting.
Excellent, thank you. So on April the 25th, I attended the Rotary meeting as their keynote speaker. I don't know who canceled, but they got me at last minute. So. Anyway, I told all their members about what's going on, what we're looking at as far as what council's objectives are in the next little while, and some other things that are happening in our community. So they were quite excited. On the 27th, attended Elaine's retirement farewell get-together, coffee and some cake, and I've known Elaine for a lot of years, and she'll be missed upstairs, and like I told her, I don't think anybody ever said a bad word about her in this organization as doing payroll. No one ever said nothing bad about her, so. On Saturday, April the 29th, I attended the district conference of the Lions Club, and I got to meet and greet with the international president. They just come off a 3-month tour around the world at other conferences of the Lions, and there were some other delegates there from different parts of the world, and then the zone and stuff, and I was quite amazed at how big the Lions Club is. I only thought it was in North America. I had no idea. It's all over the world, and they do a lot of good work, so it was nice to be there. On May the 2nd, Jameson and myself had a Zoom meeting with the president of the Economic Developers of Alberta, and there is a program that's called the Duke of Edinburgh Excellence Program. I think I got that right, did I? So they bring leaders in business and leaders in education, and they go on tours, and they try to use their expertise and to see what's happening in different parts of the world. So Economic Developers of Alberta has reached out. Jameson must have made quite an impression at Kananaskis, and the president wants I think there's close to 60 of them altogether in the delegation all around the world. They have a ton of letters behind their name, every one of them. And they're going to split up, and some are going to go to Calgary, and some are come to Edmonton, but they thought they'd like to bring them to Vegreville for the afternoon. And so Jameson's been working real hard with Alberta Innovates, first of all, and we would like to take them for a tour of Alberta Innotech here. A picture at the Ag. They do want to stop at the Ukrainian village on the way back, and so we're trying to fit that all in right now. So as the agenda comes a little bit clearer for everybody, we'll let everybody know what's going on that day. I too met Abe Martins and his employees, the delegation of AA trailers, and on the building over there, and you know, it's nice to see the progress that they're making, and they are going to start moving some stuff right away, and they've ordered some other equipment, and you know, it's been a long process that for him to make a decision about where he was going to grow his business, and we're sure happy that he contacted us a couple of years ago, and we've had this conversation back and forth, and I think it's nothing but going to be but a bonus for the town here, so looking forward to a lot of good things coming out of that. The LEDS meeting, the safety meeting for breakfast, it was nice to get back together and see all the employees again and get them back in the room, and they were complaining about the pancakes. No, I'm pretty sure they liked Director LaFave's, they were saying. His were constant, consistent. No, all joking aside, it was nice to get back together, everybody. On May the 5th, CAO Leggett, myself, had another meeting with the RCMP about our 5-year plan. So we have a meeting every year about our 5-year plan, and we can hardly wait to see how it's going to change after we sign it again. So, you know, it was actually a very productive meeting, and how we plan on reconciling every month, and so we can keep our own stats. So after 6 months, we'll go back to K Division with some hard facts, and hopefully they'll be a little more in tune to what we're saying. And then tonight's council meeting, and I know I said it before, but I'm very, very honored to be able to be part of Mark's retirement party. And Mark's been a big member of that fire department for a long time, and he takes a lot of pride in it. And I myself personally, and I'm proud of him for the work he's done, so. With that being said, is there any other business of council? Seeing none, I adjourn this meeting at 7:41. Quick one, eh, Renee? Oh, we're still